Norman Foster said, "I think you never stop learning." As you all have dedicated your time this Sunday morning, I would like to express my sincere gratitude by sharing my personal architectural dialogues, unconventional journeys, and trying to find home while being at an unexpected place. In today's world, where architects are known to be the mavens, I knowingly chose to carve my way out into the unorthodox approach for myself, as I refuse to confine myself within the constraints of a conventional architect. In today's fast-paced world, staying stagnant is no longer an opinion. Instead, we have to embrace the change. To me, the essence of being an architect transcends from mere execution of design. It demonstrates the mastery of plethora of other skills too. Hence, I embarked on the journey that surpassed through the confines of blueprint drafting. Closer to home, think about your neighbor who might be a teacher by profession, but also a musician, a painter, a volunteer at the local shelter. His multifaceted approach in life enriches not only him, but also experience around us. In this era of paradigm shift, the scope of architecture seems to define a linear categorization. Architecture extends far beyond blueprints and structures. As architects are visionaries who weave dreams into tangible forms, not just shaping the building, but also the urban fabric. Reflecting back to the time in 2014, the point where my trajectory as an aspiration conservation architect took a gradual curve when I came across a message from my thesis guide encouraging me to apply for a position of research architect. Now back then, research architecture was not a common thing. Included by the nebulous notion of research architecture, I dared to embrace on the opportunity, the uncertainty, and applied for the position. Later, when I got called for the selection, and they briefed me about my police verification, is that when I realized that the job was for the President of India. Newer windows with newer horizons opened for me in architecture. The work transcended from mere architecture. It became narrative of architecture, design, history, and progress. Picture a 22-year-old being around the President, conducting research for the first citizen of India. Accumulation of chapters marked as 13 books were released in March 2017. This is when I chose unconventional. Post this, propelled by my dear friend Phantom, who encouraged me to explore more diversity in architecture and bioed me to join an architectural organization. The professional journey of an architect involved navigating beyond the traditional practices to demonstrate the power of design by communicating the holistic approach of storytelling. It started with all kinds of jobs to get the job done or finish off the projects that were brushed under the carpet. In this world of doom scrolling, my job was to convey practice to pedagogy. Continuing this quest for innovation, I led to meaningful endeavors too, and curated design and architectural travel itineraries for architects and designers. This expedition contributed to accumulation of architectural dialogues in discussions to aspire a lot of people that art is in architecture or architecture is in art. In 2019, I wanted to explore more. I explored more. Thomas Edison famously said, "I have not failed. I have just found 10,000 ways that it won't work." At that time, I went more into the business aspect of an institution. However, it did not work for me. But today, as I stand here, I know 10,000 ways of why it did not work for me. Nevertheless, stepping outside the norm, the realization that dawned upon me was the lesson that your experience holds so much more significance as your degree. what you do today, what you have done is seemingly and equally important. This led to me realizing that oblivion is a bliss but also an opportunity. Defining a niche in the process and it takes years to pass one's attempt to do so. Your journey as an architect is a collection of all those turns and curves that you choose to huddle upon. Being a communication architect, I'm still trying to define a niche for myself. Since every inch in my body screams, never settle for less. Never settle for less in terms of curiosity. Like, say the journey of being a research architect turned into a person who wants to do narrative in architecture, also wants to do architectural exhibition, and the list goes on and on. I completely believe that architects are the guardians of a built environment. Task the balancing the demand of present with the legacy we leave behind for the future generation. And it's because all it takes is strengthens the cause if done mindfully. It is so much more than brick and mortar. It goes beyond narratives and dialogue. Today, I stand here before you, harboring a grand aspiration, yet grounded. For failure is not a deterrent, but a stepping stone towards growth. I advocate to celebrate individuality. As people look upon me with pride, I pledge to continue my journey with unwavering compassion and dedication. Steve Jobs once said, "You cannot connect the dots while looking forward. You can only connect them while looking backward." As I conclude, I urge you to reflect on your blueprints, path that you carve for yourself, dreams that you chase. Remember, it is okay to not have answers today or for sometimes. The journey itself that leads us to the greater destination. Thank you.